Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's stream. We'll be flying an Easyjet flight from Bristol to Edinburgh. We'll be with you in a few moments, and we'll go ahead and start the flight procedures, and we'll be taking off soon. In the meantime, if you have any questions or just want to chat, go ahead and chat now. I'll be monitoring for now before we start the flight. Okay, we'll be doing the cold and dark procedures. At the moment, our aircraft is fully off. Nothing is operational, so we've got to bring it back to life, ready for the flight. So at the moment, we'll have a look at the battery voltage. Yeah, looking good. 26.9, 27.4. Okay, might as well go ahead and turn battery 1 and 2 on. Everything seems to be working nominally. We'll now turn on the external power. As you can see, it's available. We'll turn that on now. We now have power supplied to the actual aircraft itself. At the moment, the aircraft is doing the 40-second self-test to make sure everything's running fine and smoothly on the computers. In fact, I actually have to have one of the settings. There you go, real. So now we have the actual real deal in terms of all the align times, etc. Might as well start this iPad up and import the sim brief. So as it says, it's going from Bristol to Edinburgh. We should be taking off in roughly about 40 to 50 minutes or so, and we should expect to arrive there in about an hour or so. An hour and a half, roughly. It shouldn't take that long. The QNH in Bristol at the moment is 1013, and in Edinburgh is 1001. So we'll have to change that accordingly. The winds on both doesn't look too bad. 8 knots, 12 knots, not bad. Temperature 13 degrees in Bristol and 10 degrees in Edinburgh. It's not too bad. Everything looks pretty nominal. We'll be cruising at a flight level of 320 at the minute, so that'll be like 2,000 feet. Not too bad, not too shabby. Right, might as well start the procedures of the aircraft. Might as well get these screens at the correct brightness so we can see what we're doing, what we're up to. There you go, that's all the lights. And might as well turn the eCam lights on a little bit so we can see that a bit better. As well as the integrated pedestal lighting for that as well. And let's put the strobe to auto, nav light on, along with the dome light, set that to on, and overhead integral lights, set that to the max as well. Now we've got a bit of lighting going on here in the aircraft, everything is going well. So going from the left side down to the right side down of the overhead controls, we go ahead and turn on the ADIRs on so we know what we're doing, where we are in the world, and let it align for that 10 minutes or so that it needs. So let's turn that to nav on number 1 and number 2 and number 3. If we wait a couple of seconds, that should pop up on battery. It's just doing its own self-test to make sure that the actual system can run off the battery with no faults, etc. So that's currently on battery. It should turn off soon. There we go. Everything's all nominal on that one. Now, as you can see on the eCam, we've got to wait at least 7 minutes for everything to align itself. We've already got the display here calibrated and good to go for that part. We'll just need the actual navigation system and everything to align itself to know where we are in the world. Moving on down, we've got the crew oxygen. Might as well turn that on as we are obviously going to be flying at some point, and in case any emergency, you've got the crew supply oxygen here to be able to use. We will be turning on the APU soon, so we might as well do the engine test for that one. There you go, looking nominal on that one, everything's going fine. All good. We'll leave these for now, because we're not currently going to be taken off just yet at the minute, so we'll turn these off at the meantime. Moving on down, you got the cockpit temperature. Yeah, might as well be a bit colder today, I'd say. It's a bit of a hot day, to be honest, so might as well keep the cabin and everything else cool a minute. Lights looking good. Dome lights, yep, good. Might as well do a quick test on all the lights here. Yep, all of them are working fine, nominally as expected. Yeah, okay. Seatbelts on, no smoking lights to auto, and on the emergency exit lights. So we are now set up for the passengers to start boarding. So we might as well call the ATC and move that to a different display. There we go, ground services. Can we get ourselves some... seems like we can't connect. Okay, bit strange. Yeah, a bit dodgy. Okay, we'll keep that off. No need to worry about that. Let's do it from here. Let's connect that. Oh, I don't know whether or not there will be a jetway connection over here or not. I'm not too sure. Yeah, whatever. Okay, moving on to the MCDU menu. Might as well set up everything that we need, especially the initialization from SimBrief. Got the destination, flight number, etc. Loading in now. There we go. 9.5. Yeah, about an hour or so of flight time to actually get there. Okay, everything looks nominal on that end. Going back, WB, I guess get the appropriate fuel that we need, along with the passengers. There we go, got all the passengers set up. I think we need to do the same for the fuel as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's do that again. There you go, all sorted. So we might as well start the boarding procedure with all the passengers. It's pretty cool. It's a new feature with the A32NX from Fly-by-Wire. Of the way the passengers start the boarding automatically, but I think it's about 1 passenger a second. You've got 159 passengers, so 159 seconds of waiting for the passengers to come on. It's not bad. I've got the self-loading cargo application on as well, so we might as well simulate that at the same time.
Hi Penny, we're happy to get going, so as soon as you're ready, you can open the doors and start to let the passengers board. Thanks.
Sorted.
No problem.
Cool. Not sure why it's not doing any of this. Yes, let's board all the passengers on there. Fantastic. Cool. At the same time, we can start to.
Hello, Captain. It's Penny, the cabin manager. Just to let you know, all passengers are now on board and the doors are closed.
No, they're not. But yeah, we'll just pretend that never happened. Okay, we've got that sorted out. Yeah, let's do the automatic calculation for that. Block fuel 5.5, I would say. So yeah, we'll set that as that. I'll get the fuel prediction. There we go. Everything's all nominal and sorted for that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our Easyjet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Okay, moving on from the announcement. It seems like everyone's on board. Nominal. Okay. Got the flight plan set up here. Still got to wait for about 3 minutes for the ADIS to align itself. We might as well put all the fuel pumps on because we will be taking off quite soon, so we might as well get all the fuel pumps ready, especially the engine pumps and especially the APU. It seems like the system is inoperative. That's a shame. Okay, parking brake is on. Flaps, everything is set to nominal, especially the rudder trim. Yep, all's good. We will not be flying with any ATC whatsoever for this flight, maybe because I feel like it. Don't really want to be chatting to anyone on VATSIM or using the offline system at all either. I just want to fly the plane and land, take off, etc. without the use of ATC or anything whatsoever. I have all the charts of me, so I know where to fly, how to fly, etc. But eventually in some other streams we will be using the appropriate navigation and ATC communication with VATSIM, hopefully. Just want to get more familiar with the actual aircraft itself. Okay, moving on. It seems like, okay, BCN, DCAS, okay, let's get the departure set. We'll be taking off from runway 27 using the, just thinking which one it is. let's have a look here. BCN1X SID. There we go. And there's no trans or anything like that. Not inside that. There we go. All sorted for that one. Unfortunately, we do have a flight plan discontinuing. For some reason, I'm not sure how to clear that off. It never usually happens to me like that, but yeah, it's a bit weird. Oh, okay, got the align configuration set up correctly. Oh, it's not that bad of a discontinuous. We just have to basically fly all the way there and then direct ourselves to Dicas, and then we'll go from there. It's not that bad. Other thing at the minute, got constraints as well. Okay. We need to climb at least to 3,000, 6,000. Yeah, okay. Seems well. I'm guessing we're going to be limited with the airspeeds as well, so I'm not surprised for that one either. Yeah, I'm not sure how to sort this out if the flight plan discontinues. I'm not sure what to do here for that one. I'm not sure how to sort this one out. But it's not that bad of a deal. As I said, it's only just that little gap that's missing here, so we'll just fly directly when we get to that point where we need to sort that one out. So it's not that bad. By that time we'll have all our shit sorted out anyway. You know, 30 nautical miles. It's not that much pressure on that one. It's just not that bad. The destination will be arriving. Well, usually you wouldn't set this up until you're sort of mid-flying on the cruise altitude, but we'll do that now anyway, just to get it over with. And for that one, we'll be doing the Ils Approach on runway 24. Approaching using the NP1E approach via, which one is it? TLA or EDN? Just thinking. Do we even have one? Let's have a look here. Not sure. Just trying to figure that one out a minute. What's going on here? Strange. Okay, we'll get the appropriate DME runway 24 TLA. Yeah, that's the one. TLA via TLA. Sorted. Via TLA. Awesome. Insert that in there. Wash. Look at, yep, everything's looking nominal for the rest of the flight plan. We just got to sort out that inconsistency with the discontinuing on the flight plan sort of at the start on our climb, and it should be okay. Oh shit, what have I done there? Didn't mean to do that. Let's restart that again. bit strange that I can't connect to the actual simulator itself. It's a bit strange. Let's sort this out. Okay, I'm hoping that's sorted it out. Now we can have a look at that properly now. With the navigaf charts. Okay. Yeah, we'll be doing this. So I'll need to get this linked up on fleet approach charts. Yeah, all sorted. Enable moving maps as well. I'll make sure Symbolink is right. Okay. I'll make sure that's sorted. There we go. That's all sorted now and running correctly. Okay. Fantastic. Moving on down. Okay, we'll do that approach. We also need the chart for this as well. So we'll pin that in there. The taxiway and everything like that is on a separate sheet that I've got that I can look at. Unfortunately, I can't display that on the actual stream itself for some reason. It's a bit weird, but yeah, we'll stick to that. Perfect. Sort that out now. Ah yes, what was I doing? Just going to look at the departure charts. Okay. It's basically telling me if I'm taking off from that way, from 127, isn't it? In between that's okay. Cool. Basically, climb to 6,000 in a nutshell. We can only go a maximum of 250 knots below flight level 100, so that's all fine. Trains over 6,000, yeah, basically we'll climb 6,000 in a nutshell. All as well for that one. Okay. I think we're pretty much good to go. So let's put on the master switch for the APU. As you can see here on the eCam display. That starts to do that. Might as well arm the doors for the passengers.
Attention of the cabin crew, please place doors to automatic and cross-check.
As you can see here, flaps now open, so the APU is now good to go to fire up. So we might as well start that off. Departure is apparently in 20 minutes, but I think we'll be setting off a bit earlier than that because we're literally about to take off in probably about 10 or so minutes. So it shouldn't take long. Yep, as you can see here, the N% just going up, but that'll be soon going up to 100. The temperature is increasing as well, so everything seems to be going nominally at the minute. At the same time, might as well do our performance. So I will be doing a flaps 1, flex temp of let's do 55. Yeah, it's not a long runway, but it's not a short one either, so I might as well go sort of halfway in. Anyway, trans altitude would be 6,000, so I'll just set that as that. And let it do its V1 and rotate calculations, etc. So everything is okay for that one. I think we're good to go. So set that as 6,000 already, just so we're all prepared. And along with that, trying to set up correct QNH as a 1013. We set that to 1013. Yeah, that's a standard as it is there. So everything is all nominal for that one. We'll have to change the actual the QNH when we get to actually Edinburgh itself. So not that bad. Okay. I think we are good to go. Yep, the APU is nominal, everything's nominal, everything is good to go. Okay. So, might as well call the tug and connect the ground control so we can actually communicate with them and tell them to go left or right or whatever, etc. And we will be taking off now, so we might as well put the beacon lights on. Let's turn that on as well, the wing lights, even though it's not really that necessary, but just because I can, I might as well do it anyway. Okay. Start engine 2, turn the parking brake off. As you can see, nothing's going on for some reason. Hold on a minute. Am I doing something wrong? Hold on a minute. Yeah, all the pumps are functional. Yes. Undo the external power. Ah, yeah, and the APU bleed. Yep, forgot about that. There we go. Make sure the APU bleed is on so we can power the engines up. Fantastic. Okay, let's start that. It should start. Yep, there you go. That's going to start soon. There we go. Alright, might as well start moving that way. We'll be going all the way across down there. Obviously I can't, well, I don't know where the tug's gone, but okay, seems like we're just going by ourselves. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
And that's that for the safety announcement for that. Now we're good to taxi. We're not going to be talking to ATC at all for that one. So yeah, everything looks nominal for that. I'll turn off the ignition, set that to normal mode. I'll put on the parking brake and set the obviously TCAS on. I might as well set the flaps to 1 and arm those. We'll set the auto brake soon when we're about to go. I think we're good to go. So we'll be taxiing across to Z and holding short on a B on runway 27. So we're going to go up there and then go there. Sorted. Okay, I think we're good to go. Everything looks nominal. The engines are now on, so we can turn off the APU. Along with the APU bleed. And we can now begin our taxi. Along with the flight controls, up, down, left, right. Okay, all sorted. That one. Okay, set that to max. Takeoff config. Yeah, might as well check that. Takeoff config is a nominal. Let's call the cabin. Make sure they are ready to go. We'll just do that. I don't know which one it is.
510, please prepare for takeoff.
Sorted. Yep, everything is nominal. Everything is good to go. And we'll soon be taking off. Okay, we're about to take off, so let's seats for takeoff on that end.
For the attention of the cabin crew, please be seated for takeoff.
Might as well turn that off as well. We actually went down the wrong taxiway, whoops. Instead of going to the B one, we went to the A one. That's fine. We can still use this as a runway anyway, as you can see here. It's not that bad. Okay, I think we're good to go. Everything checks out, everything looks nominal. Okay, let's go to 50%. Set the auto thrust.
That's 100 knots.
B1
positive rate. Gear up.
Sweet. Get the autopilot to do its job. Putting on our landing gear at the minute, and all as well. Now climbing to the appropriate speed. I did forget to put on my landing slash takeoff lights, which is my bad. As you can see, that's why I prefer not to use the ATC for now, just for me to get more familiar with the aircraft, etc. Yeah, everything looks nominal to me now. We can put the spoilers down. I'll leave flaps to 1 still. Everything seems nominal. Okay, let's put it to climb mode now. Yeah, there we go. Set that to 0. Sorted. I'm hoping that doesn't... Okay, it's nominal. Fantastic. It's doing its job. We've now reached the altitude of more than 3,000. Everything looks nominal for that end, which is fantastic. You as well. Oh, we are going a bit of an overspeed for that one, that's not good. Let's slow ourselves down. I forgot to engage the auto thrust. Whoops. I think that wants to slow itself down now. We'll wait until we exit that sort of area, and then we can start climbing up. I think we can start climbing now to our desired altitude of 3.2. If it's don't want that. Not sure why it's not doing no controlled. That's strange. Oh, I guess it's just doing an open climb. Whatever. Not too bothered. That do its thing, I suppose. We are close to going to BCN as well, so we'll have to do our direct to DCAS sooner or later. Oh, that's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes. In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. You can also purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, And if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has switched off the seatbelt sign. You may now move around the aircraft. However, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt securely fastened and visible to the cabin crew whenever you are seated. This is for your personal safety in case of sudden or unexpected turbulence. Having your seatbelt visible will negate the need for the cabin crew to wake you if you are sleeping and the seatbelt sign is switched on again. The lavatories are now in service.
And yes, of course, we've got to turn off all the landing lights because I don't need them anymore. This is set to auto, but I'll put it on anyway. Fantastic. And of course, we've got the flight plan discontinuing, so eventually we'll have to do our manoeuvre to Dicas, so we might as well just quickly do that now and get direct there. Should be good. Yep, there we go, all sorted. Now we can follow along the flight plan as intended, and everything should be okay. Nothing more to worry about, I think. So we'll wait until we get to the cruising altitude, and then we'll put on some music. If you got any questions or anything like that, you want to talk about anything, then go ahead and speak up and write in the chat, and I will be monitoring and answering it while we do this, while we don't have such a big workload at the minute. Everything seems nominal. Minutes. Even though this is an operative, I still used it anyway because I do know how to operate this. I used to do it when it was operative as well, and this is obviously inoperative as well. Can't really use that, but oh well, it's not that bad. Yeah, we'll wait until that hits the flight level, cruising altitude. Got any questions, speak up. I'll be sure to answer them. I don't even know how many viewers there are, but I guarantee there's not a lot of you guys on here watching the stream. But if you are watching the stream, then yeah, go ahead and speak up, say hi. One thing I did forget is to do the fire test on both the engines. Yeah, I should have done that before. Obviously, I've done one for the APU, I think, I remember. But we need to do one for the engines as well before we fire them. Every time before you start any of these on, you have to do an engine fire test to make sure everything is nominal. But obviously, everything would be nominal anyway because it didn't simulate any failures for this flight anyway. So, but in case there were, you'd know what to do. And yeah, the thrust lever is on climb at the minute. Everything is all nominal. Everything is all good. We've got about I don't know, 40 to 35 minutes of this flight. So by the time we hit the actual cruising level, we'll soon be hitting our top of the set as well. So it's kind of a short journey, to be honest. It's not going to take that long. I think you see on the stream above, you have all sorts of information that you got to help you with the actual stream itself. For example, where we are, well, where we depart from and where we're going to arrive, which is EGGD for Bristol, and going to EGPH, which is Edinburgh. We're currently going at a ground speed of 400 knots, which is pretty fast, with the air IAS speed of 289 knots, vertical speed of about 20,000 so, 1,500 feet per minute. Obviously gaining more altitude every second with a heading of 356 degrees. ATC call sign is Easy433, so if I did speak to the towers, the ATC or even VATSIM, my call sign would be Easy433, as you can see there. As you can see, the network that we're on is offline, but we're not even using the offline ATC either. We're just going to fly the aircraft, land, well, take off and land, and taxi and park ourselves without using any of the ATC whatsoever. Of course it helps, but I just prefer to actually get the functionalities of the aircraft first before I think about the communication sort of aspect, and it does recommend you to do that. Sort of aviate, navigate, then communicate. That's the sort of functionalities you want to do first to get the hang of before you start doing anything else. As you can see here, ETE means sort of the estimated time that we need before we actually land on the airport, which is basically 32 minutes, 19 seconds. So not that long. Bristol to Edinburgh doesn't take that long to sort of fly to. And I guarantee there's probably some flights that do it now. Sort of, probably some Bristol people want to go visit Scotland and Edinburgh for a few days as a holiday or something like that. Yeah, that's where you go on Easyjet route for that. Obviously you've got the registration of the aircraft, which is G Uniform Zulu Hotel Alpha. G obviously coming from the country that the aircraft is from, which is from the UK, and that's why it's got the G registration on it. And obviously the phrase, we're currently in the climb to the cruise level, which is not long from now. We're about flight level 270. We'll be approaching flight level 320 pretty soon. And obviously the actual bar that you see, that's sort of gold. That's the sort of status of the actual flight as well. So in case you didn't want to read the actual phase of the flight, you can just look at the bar, and it's basically like a progress bar. We're already a quarter way there. That's how quick this flight is. The bar's already a quarter way, so we'll be at the top of the descent too. It won't be long. Yeah, if you've got any questions or anything, just hit me up. I will be monitoring the actual chat itself. Seatbelt signs is off because we're sort of going at a steady climb rate, even though we're not on top of the descent yet. It's still sort of safe enough for passengers to sort of undo their seatbelts and start moving around, going to the toilet, etc, etc. I think we'll soon be doing our in-flight services as well once we get to the cruise level, which is not far from now. Everything is normal. Fantastic. The nothing is shown on the ECAM, which means the seatbelt signs are off, and obviously it automatically doesn't show the no smoking sign because it's set on auto. In reality, the no smoking sign is always on anyway, so that doesn't matter, even if it shows it on the ECAM or not. That's why it's set to auto in the first place. It's just something to get off the ECAM, I guess, to fit other things, just in case if there were sort of any faults or anything. So yeah, not that bad. We've almost hit our cruising altitude, which is not bad. Going a steady rate.
Ladies and
There
gentlemen,
you go.
in just a few moments we'll
Doing
commence our
the
in-flight
in-flight
service,
services.
offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. All details can be found in your in-flight brochure. You can also purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an Easyjet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
And we've just about reached our cruising altitude of flight level 320, which is basically 32,000 feet. In a nutshell, we've hit that cruising level.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, this is the captain. I thought you would wish to know that we are about to reach our cruise altitude. We expect to remain at this height for the majority of the flight. Up to now, there are no anticipated delays ahead of us, and therefore you should arrive at your destination on time as scheduled. Naturally, if that situation changes, I will be sure to let you know. I'm sure Penny and the rest of the cabin crew are taking thoroughly good care of you. But please, if there is anything that will enhance your Easyjet experience or make your journey that little bit more comfortable, be sure and let them know. They are happy to assist you in whatever way they are able. That's all from me for the moment. I'm going to leave you in peace and in the very capable hands of our Easyjet cabin crew. Unless it is absolutely necessary, you won't hear from us again until shortly before landing. So, I invite you to sit back, relax, make the most of our in-flight hospitality and enjoy the remainder of our flight time together. And let me take this opportunity of thanking you for choosing to fly with us at Easyjet. We're proud to be Europe's largest, and as you know, the web's favourite airline.
It's quite funny, that is. I love self-loading cargo, everything from the actual announcements to the actual me as a captain. Instead of me speaking directly right now on the stream, it just does it for me. So that's fantastic. The power of automation, look at that. That's brilliant. Okay, so sort of while we're at cruising altitude, we might as well have a look at the charts. Obviously, as you can obviously see, we're already almost sort of halfway there. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know what this is, but we'll just stick to that. We'll have a look at the approach charts. We have to be at a flight level of 3,000 feet. Obviously the transition or I don't know how you say it. Basically before this actual chart itself, we will be at basically 6,000 feet and we'll actually be descending down. As you can see here, before that we're about 6,000 feet and then sort of gradually sort of climbing down quite quickly down to 3,000 feet. And eventually, when we straighten up, we'll be captured by the ILS sort of instrumentation and let the autopilot do its thing with the Cat 3 approach. And then sort of once we get on to about, I don't know, maybe 1,000 sort of feet, then I'll turn off the autopilot and manually control it myself, doing the Cat 1 approach instead. And obviously we've got the actual minimums, as you can see here, etc. We will be landing obviously the ILS approach of runway 24. For those who don't know, the reason why it's called runway 24 is because of the actual bearing that this runway is compared with the actual Earth itself. It's obviously 241 degrees. The actual heading itself, that's why the airfield is runway 24, because of 24, yeah, 240 degrees, or 241, whatever. So the best way to sort of know what runway to tell if you're actually landing on the right runway would be to know what sort of heading you're travelling at, and to make sure it's correct, and sort of compare it. Now, there has been some instances in real life where people have landed on the wrong runways because the other runways were close together, and so that's how accidents happen. You've got to make sure the actual heading is correct before you actually want to land on it. But yeah, about maybe 5 minutes in, we'll be actually hitting our top of descent. So not even longer now. We'll be going down to actually do the actual approach. So yeah, looking good so far on that end. Looking good. I think there is an actual yeah, there you go. That's sorted. I think it's in-pip, yeah. We're going through the in-pip approach. So by the time we get to in-pip and in-rev, we have to be at flight level 260 for that one. So it wouldn't take us that long. Shortly before that, we'll have our top of descent, and we'll be slowly going down to flight level 260. And then in rev, we have to be at flight level 200, and at least at what seems to be Tartan, which is sort of in range of the actual sort of radios, sort of ATC, etc. of the actual airport. We have to be at flight level 70, just below, just above the actual transition altitude, which is 6,000 feet. So that's not long now. I don't think I have to even put music on, to be honest. I can just talk like this all day. It's crazy. It's my first time actually talking on this stream and sort of walking through how to actually do the flight itself, which is nice. I'm sort of learning at the same time while flying. That's why you saw me sort of do a lot of mistakes, and I'm probably doing the procedures wrong as well, but sort of eventually get the hang of it, sort of a stream at a time. So even though you're watching the stream, it's, even though you're probably I don't know if you're an experienced pilot or a new one, you can see my sort of journey of experience, starting from a newbie like right now, not using any ATC communications whatsoever, even offline, even VATSIM, just figuring out how to use the actual aircraft correctly. And once I've figured out all the procedures and etc. for the aircraft, then I'll think about the sort of communication aspects of it. Maybe I'll go on to using the offline ATC and sort of figure out what they talk about, what they communicate, maybe do the same routes over again, and sort of get the feel for it, and then eventually sort of think about moving on to VATSIM, etc., which is all good. But yeah, that's interesting. That's charts. Very interesting. We will be soon hitting our top of descent. We will start our top of descent just before Shap. As you can see, we'll do that. Yeah, just before Shap, we'll start our top of descent because well, hold on a second. What's going on here? Should have checked this a long time ago. What's going on here? We'll go down. Whoa, that doesn't look good at all. What is this? what the fuck is going on here? That looks dodgy as hell. Don't know what this... Okay, that... I'm assuming that's the runway. Yeah, that looks fine. But what the fuck is that? Okay. That looks a bit fucked, doesn't it? That's interesting. What's... Something obviously has gone wrong here. Wow. Okay, I didn't even realise it was that bad. Okay. We're just about going on to the top of the set, so we might as well announce that.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, this is the captain. You will be delighted to know that we will shortly be starting our descent to our destination. The cabin crew will soon start preparing for our arrival and securing the cabin for landing. I would ask that you ensure all aisles are clear for the crew as they start making their way around the aircraft. I would also ask that you hand them any bottles, cups, wrappers and newspapers, amongst other rubbish that you do not intend to take with you when you depart. I'm sure you will afford them every courtesy and respect as they do this. Your assistance will be greatly and most appreciated by the entire crew. Just a quick reminder that when I flip on the fasten seatbelt signs, the lavatories will no longer be in service, so, if you need to go, now is the time. I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with us here at Easyjet. For now though, please, sit back and relax. I would also encourage you to enjoy those magnificent views as we descend and prepare for landing. I hope that you enjoy the short remainder of our flight together. Once again, thank you for choosing to fly with us at Easyjet.
Yep, all sorted. Safe to say, we are about to go to our top of descent now. So let's go ahead and start doing that descent to 2000. Open descent, fantastic. Thrust is obviously idle. And oh wow, okay, seatbelts is not going on. Interesting. Get all the people in the loo to sort out their business, and we'll be going down to do our descent, top descent. As you can see, yeah, we've already passed halfway point on the progress bar. You can see on the map we're almost at sort of Edinburgh. We're on the top of the descent now, and about let's say 15 or so minutes we'll
Ladies and
be
gentlemen,
landing.
from the cockpit, this is the captain. The more awake amongst you may have noticed we've begun our descent for landing. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to illuminate the fasten seatbelt sign, at which point the cabin crew will begin to secure the cabin for landing. This will include locking the lavatories. So, if you need to use the facilities, now is the time. You may assist the cabin crew by handing them any rubbish or remaining service items you may have. For now, please, sit back, relax, enjoy those magnificent views as we descend to our destination and enjoy the short remainder of our flight together.
It's looking good so far. Let's have a look back on the actual approach in PIP. So we're currently, we'll be just in time for that in PIP. Approach in rev, flight level 2000. Yeah, I think we will make that just fine without using the spoilers and speed brake. We should be just fine. Obviously we're on our engines are throttle, so we're not using any fuel at the moment, apart from 100 kilograms an Got plenty of fuel, just in case we needed to sort of divert our flight, in case we couldn't make the flight to Edinburgh or anything like that. Our actual sort of alternative airport that we can land at is Manchester. So in case we couldn't land at Edinburgh, we would land at Manchester instead. I don't see any logic in that. I'd rather just land in some closer airport that is an Easyjet destination, such as Inverness, for example, because that's a bit closer. I wouldn't want to see passengers getting a lift with a bus from Manchester all the way to Edinburgh. That's a bit weird. I'd prefer if it was in Inverness, which is kind of strange. But oh well, gotta live with that. What can you do? Yeah, almost at flight level 2000, so that looks all nominal, etc. We might as well do our actual approach performance, etc. So we just can get that ready. Might as well import that quick sim brief again. Get that all loaded up. Yeah, 1003. Might as well set that to 1003 as well on the emergency actual reading. Okay, 1003. The temperature is 11 degrees. The magnitude and the wind, yeah, they got a heading of 260 degrees with the wind speed of 9 knots. Put that in the actual computer. Trans altitude, as we said before in the charts, will be 6,000 feet. And yeah, we'll be using the full flap config for that one as well. Go around, yeah, that's all good. All sorted for that one, so that is now set up and good to go. Going back to the descent phase, once we actually go to the approach phase, when we're in line within like 6,000, about 20 to 30 or so nautical miles away from the airport, we'll activate the approach phase, and that will start to do its business. Which will go. As you can see, we made our actual flight level a bit earlier than we expected, but yeah, that's nothing to worry about. I'm just more a bit concerned about the actual routes plan itself, which kind of concerns me. I just need to see what the actual flight plan is. In PEP, we'll be going to TLA and then TLA 13. Yeah, DOS. Okay, yeah, that should be. I think it's just a bug going on with the flight plan. I'm pretty sure it would be okay. Don't think there's anything wrong with it or anything. Now moving on. Yep. Flight level 200, and we might as well start our descent to 7,000 or 10,000. Yeah, we'll do 10,000. Oh, 9,000, 10,000. Yeah. There you go. So we'll be descending down to flight level 100 now. And when we get to that point, we can't go over 250 knots, unfortunately. So it will be quite a slow approach. Didn't even need to use music for that one. That's crazy. Okay. Very weird. Okay, I should use this route more often, using a flight from Edinburgh to Bristol and a return. Because obviously Bristol Airport is not really that busy, and neither is Edinburgh, I don't think. Well, Edinburgh is on Vatson, and Edinburgh Gatwick Madness or something like that, I don't know. Kind of weird, but yeah, looks nominal so far. I think we'll actually do this to 7,000 as well, because it actually wants us to do this a bit earlier. I don't know what's going on with this thing itself, but I think the flight plan is perfect. Nothing is wrong with it, it's just the actual drawing itself, it's just a bit fucked. So I'm not too concerned about that one. Not too concerned. I wonder if I've got the charts. Never mind. Can we do that? Let's do this. Navigraph, code. Fuck off. Won't do that. Don't bother. Fuck it. Sorted. Yeah, I think it's doing perfectly fine. It's not following this weird curve, I don't think it is. We'll just double check that. Let's double check that shit. I don't know what it's actually doing, but yeah. Oh, okay, that's a bit interesting. It is actually following. Okay, we'll just let it do its thing. I don't think it's dangerous or anything like that, or just a bit of a bug going on here. We might as well put the seatbelts on. What's going on here? Okay. Very strange. Oh, whatever. TLA 13, yeah, it's just it's going to that now. Not bad. Okay, whatever. We'll just stick to that. I'm happy with that. Why is it following a heading? Just go direct. Okay. Interesting. What the fuck are you doing now? What have I done? Where are you going now? Okay, it's doing something I don't want it to do. Go to TLA 13, yeah? Go. What are you doing, mate? You're going fucking haywire. I don't know what's going on here with this crazy machine. Okay, we'll just let it do its thing. Whatever. I guess we'll just use the heading now. Come on, of strange that he's doing such a thing.
The captain has switched on the seatbelt sign. You must now return to your seat and securely fasten your seatbelt. The lavatories are now not in service. Once again, please return to your seat and securely fasten your seatbelt.
It's very interesting. I guess we'll just direct that to go there somewhere. Yeah, sometimes you got to do manual headings, which I'm not too bothered about. Not that bad, to be honest. I'm not that bothered. Oh, I might as well go down to 6,000 as well.
For the attention of the cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for landing. Thank you.
To that now. Still doing the same thing. How dodgy that is, okay. Whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
There we go. It's doing its thing now. There we go. Sorted. It's sorted itself out. Finally. Look at that. That's brilliant. Might as well slow ourselves down a little bit. We are overspeeding a little bit, so I might as well put that on. Can we slow the fuck down, please? I think we should be okay. We did descend a little bit early, I think. And we're sort of at that flight level a bit early as well. Yeah, I think we're good for deploying flaps 3, I think. Yeah. Oh, flaps too, yeah. Perfect. We are now at the altitude that we need to be. It's fantastic.
2,500.
For the attention of the cabin crew, please be seated for landing.
We're about to come up sooner or later. We'll be in line soon. Ground spoilers are armed, everything is set up, the landing gear is down and the flaps are set to full, the landing lights are all on, set up. You'll know we'll be in line with the actual airfield itself when this purple pip goes in line with this orange little rectangle here, and you'll know we'll be in the correct glide slope as well when this pip goes down in line with our flight level as well. So that shouldn't be much of an issue, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's slowly going down in line with us. We should be hitting this final approach soon. Yeah, all good. I think we'll go like this, yeah. We're now following this, and then eventually we'll be facing the airfield. The clouds are a bit low today. It's not that great. soon be in line with the actual airfield itself. And then we'll let it sort of stabilise with the autopilot. And then once we get close enough, I'll disable the autopilot and land it manually myself, turning it into a Cat 1 approach instead of a Cat 3 one. You'd usually use Cat 3 when your visibility is really poor, but for this flight we can see adequately. I think if we go below 3,000 feet, sort of underneath the clouds, we'll see everything much more clearer, and it should be okay. Okay, we're about to approach our final sort of trajectory. We're about to face it. There it is. You see over there. We're about to face it in a little while. It's not a big and long runway, but it's still adequate enough for us to land the A320 on. So we should be approaching it quite soon. As you can see here, the glide slope is now aligning with our altitude. We're at the correct sort of altitude to start this glide slope, which is 3,000. And as you can see here, the pip of the actual heading towards in line with the airfield is actually aligning itself, which is perfect. So instead of relying on the actual heading navigation, I think we can put the approach on autopilot as well, and turn on the second autopilot. As you can see, it is now turned into Cat 3 dual. We will not be landing Cat 3 dual once we get into once we get close enough that I feel that safe enough of me taking the controls and managing the glide slope, etc. I'll switch it to manual and we'll land a Cat 1 approach, sorry.
2,500.
Which should be soon. 2,500. Okay. So once I see that we are in line and everything is sorted, I think I'll do this landing via nav. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll set this up, and that should be good. Yep, 3,000, blah blah blah. We got the landing speed of 140 roughly. Our lights are all on to landing. Our spoilers are on, our flaps are on full. Our auto brake, I think we'll set that to medium. I think this should be okay, and we'll announce to the cabin crew that we're going to be landing. And yeah, I think now I can see the airfield. Everything is clear. So I think I'll disable the autopilot and control it myself now. So yeah, everything should be fine. I'll have to zoom in a little bit for this one. All good. Our glide slope is perfect. We're slowly making that descent. That's all fantastic. Even though our nose is up, we're still descending because of the way the flaps work. So it seems like we're actually we're facing the ground. We're not actually facing the ground. Our nose is slightly up on the horizon, as you can see here on the display. That would be the ground, and that's the sky. And obviously,
1,000.
I'm actually doing that. Okay, now we need to sort out my climb slope, my approach, because obviously the heading is a bit wrong, so I need to do that and sort that out. I think it's safe to say we can now, I think, ignore the actual glide slope itself. We know how sort of fast we're approaching it anyway. We should be okay. Of course, it's now telling us 3 reds out of 1 red, 1
400.
yellow or white, whatever, which is telling us that we're a bit too high on the glide slope, or lower, sorry. But we're just fine, I think.
300.
I'm doing the glide slope a bit lower, just so we can do that little buttery landing, I think.
200. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
There we go. Perfect landing. That, I think, was quite butter, to be fair. Gotta admit that. That was amazing. Let's turn off the auto brake. And we'll be approaching the end of the runway and we'll taxi off from there, which is fantastic. We have officially landed with the
Ladies
rate
and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
I think that went pretty well, to be fair. Our landing rate is actually quite butter, apparently. We landed at a rate of 6 feet per minute. That's crazy. Minus 6 feet per minute. That's crazy.
You are required to remain seated until the captain turns off the seatbelt signs. He will do this only when we have come to a complete stop and it is safe to do so.
Now we're going towards that. We've exited the runway, so we might as well turn off the landing lights and set that to taxi and strobe lights off. As you can see here, the no smoking sign automatically appears on the eCam, but it was on all that flight anyway, but it just saves a bit of space on the eCam if it's removed during the flight while we're in the air, just for that other sort of messages that comes on. I think we can now turn off that and put that to standby, turn off the weather system, turn that off, put that to manual, yeah, turn all that off. We are heading a bit off center point. That's no biggie. We can turn that off and set our flaps to full, all sorted. We can now start our taxiing to the appropriate taxiways that we need to set it as. Just thinking, yeah, we'll go in one of these parking spots there. Should be okay for us. Should be absolutely fine. We'll now start our parking procedures. I think we'll turn here on away from the A taxiway and start towards the F taxiway instead, and turn here. And then turn left here. And go into bay number 6. Sorted, look at that. Perfect. Oh, we're actually dead on center, look at that. It's perfect. Even though I'd be capable of doing such a thing now, but okay. Well, that's a bit Bit of a strong brake there, but oh well, we'll align it to the actual set. I can't actually see it from the cockpit, but I'll just have to do that. There you go. Sorted. Oh, it actually tells me if I have to stop. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, reset that and put the parking brake on. We should have put the APU on when we actually landed. I forgot about that. Whoopsie. But that doesn't matter anyway because we'll put the external power on, which I'm not that bothered about. So we can now turn off the engines. Perfect. Look at that. Sorted. That will be the end of that. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Oopsie.
Cabin crew, doors to manual, please.
Let's get the tax. We'll get the jetway to get connected to
Cabin
us.
crew, the aircraft is
There we
secure.
go.
Please
It's
open
going
doors.
to come in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived safely at our destination. On behalf of myself, the first officer, Penny and the cabin crew, may I say what a great pleasure it has been to have you on board this Easyjet service with us today. We hope you enjoyed your Easyjet flight. We all wish you a safe onward journey. It is our sincere hope to see you on board with us again, very soon. Once again, thank you for choosing Easyjet and we wish you safe travels.
Perfect. Now we just got to wait for the passengers to deboard. Offloading the passengers. We've got all of them rushing out of the jetway. We've got 100 passengers left coming out, so that should be pretty soon. We might as well start the baggage service as well. Yeah, that should be a good to go, I think. That's fantastic. Brilliant flight. Enjoyed that. Quite short, simple, to the point. It's fantastic. Landing rate of -5. That is butter. Butter landing, but of course if you're an airline you wouldn't really worry about that kind of buttery landings. You'd want to at least have a bit of a firmer landing so that the brakes and the actual spoilers deploy, etc. You don't start aquaplaning if there was raining or whatever. Don't start floating on the airfield or anything like that. So that's perfect. I like that landing. It was brilliant, I think. There's a file prep for that one. And it should be sorted. And now we're waiting for all the passengers to get out of here. Got one passenger left. There you go. All of them are off now. And now all the cargo is coming out of the airplane slowly. It's about 6 minutes until all the actual baggage comes out of the airfield, and of course doing the turnaround. Cabin crew is now cleaning everything inside the aircraft, obviously from the mess that the passengers has made. But yeah, I think that was a brilliant landing. I think now we can start to put the APU off, turn off the crew oxygen supply, and turn off the ADIRs, because we don't need to use them anymore, because of course we're not going to carry on flying anymore. I'm going to stop the stream soon, so yeah, we can turn off these and turn off the dome lights. We can turn off the overhead lights as well. All sorted. Yeah, I think that's all sorted out. Obviously unlock the cockpit door because all the passengers are off now. Yeah. Ratio system, etc. is all off. all sorted. I think we can turn that off as well. And of course, turn the radios off, because we don't need to use them anyway. And there we go, we've got the computer there, sort itself out. Turn off the flight director and the constraints. Q&H is set the same thing. We'll turn these brightness down a little bit.
Can you do that toilet and basin, Rosie?
And stuff. Yep. I think that's sorted now. Now we just have to wait for everything to sort itself out with the cargo coming out of the airplane for the passengers. Got about 53 baggage items left out of 114. Should be done in about 4 minutes. Yeah, in the meantime, we can look at our flight report from self-loading cargo. Our pilot grade that we got is D-. What? What? What did we get D- for? Wow. Okay. Passenger rating 59.5%. The landing rate was -6 feet per minute at 0.97 Gs, which is not firm enough. That's not good. Oh, okay. What? That's very strange. This was a poor flight, apparently. Communicated effectively with the cabin crew during all the critical flight phases, ensuring their safety. The passengers were mostly comfortable while flying due to me handling the aircraft well, although I was a bit overzealous on the stick at some points, but nothing serious to worry about, just a little bit more gentle. My landing was very good for the passengers. However, I put the aircraft in a dangerous position of potentially floating down the runway too far, resulting in an increased stopping distance. Additionally, obviously landing too smoothly can affect control of the aircraft. It's always best to land a little firmer than too smoothly, so try to manage my flare a little bit better in future. Our punctuality is great. Scheduled departure was at 16:20 hours Zulu. Off blocks time was 16:03 Zulu. As a result, we did this flight on time. Our scheduled arrival was 17:28 hours Zulu. We touched down on blocks 17:11 Zulu hours. As a result, we arrived at just under about 15 minutes early than what we should have done. And overall, the flight pod says that I've pulled up a little bit too hard and the passengers were a bit uncomfortable. My pitch control was excellent. Passengers had no complaints. My roll control was excellent. Passengers had no complaints. I taxied the aircraft at an appropriate speed throughout the flight. Well done. Apparently I scared the passengers by taxiing the aircraft at speed on the grass, which is absolute complete bollocks. I was on the tarmac all that time, so that's obviously a bit of a bug there. I successfully performed a safe and successful takeoff. I managed the cabin crew correctly during takeoff. Unfortunately though, I forgot to turn off my landing lights once I reached 10,000 feet. Obviously, and I forgot to turn on the landing lights below 10,000 feet during my landing approach. No, I didn't. I did. I turned everything on. That was weird. A bit weird. And apparently my airspeed was well above 250 knots, while the aircraft was below 10,000 feet. So obviously there's a lot of room for improvement there. But yeah, that all just comes from more experience in flying. Obviously, no one's perfect. At the end of the day, I can deal with that criticism. At least the landing was great, obviously for the passengers, but not for the airline and the aircraft itself. Obviously, risking a bit of a danger for the aircraft. But I'm guaranteed that this was a very smooth landing, and if there was actually real passengers in there, they probably would have clapped. To be honest, with that smooth as fuck landing. Most of them know nothing about how landing should be. It should be a little bit firm. You should be able to feel it when you land. It shouldn't be that butter, but obviously I did show off a little bit and landed a bit of a butter on that one. So that's not bad. Okay, that's great. Everything is complete. Cargo unloading is done, so I might as well get rid of that. All the passengers have deboarded, and our turnaround, the cabin crew cleaning everything has been complete, so we can now officially turn off everything and set it back to cold and dark. So we can turn off the strobes, turn off the nav and logo lights, set that to off as well. Turn that off, turn everything off. We'll leave the cockpit forward cabin and aft cabin as it is now. Doesn't really mean anything. Everything is nominal. The ADIRS is off, so that's all good. We can now disconnect the external power. As you can see here, we still got a bit of sort of electronics functioning at the minute, but we will now turn off the battery as well, and everything will be sorted. We're in cold and dark mode now. Everything has been turned off, and we can now close the door. And that's all sorted. There we go. I hope you enjoyed this flight. Obviously there's room of improvement, so hopefully on my next streams I should be able to take that on board and improve myself each and every time, and eventually we'll do the communications with the air traffic controls, either offline or with VATSIM, depending on how confident I am. So yeah, thank you for the stream. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.